We've got no time to spare, so straight into the video on how to add 5 points to your ACT score before this timer runs out. Most students prepare for the ACT in the same exact way, and they're all making the same exact mistake. The problem is that they're taking practice test after practice test, hoping that their score will magically improve, but this doesn't actually work. And this is actually what I did when I tried to improve my own ACT score from a 31 up to a perfect 36 way back in the day, and that ended up with me wasting over 100 hours of my time. What I would do is I would take a practice test, and then I would just review the answers to that practice test using the answer key, and then I would move on and I would just take another practice test. The first problem is that when you do this, you're studying everything all at the same time, and you're not being targeted with what you're focused on. And the second problem with this is that I was just spoon feeding myself the answers from the solutions guide. And the combination of spreading myself too thin and just spoon feeding myself the solutions from the solutions guide made it so that there was actually no information being retained. So here's what we do instead. And I learned this personally when I took my own score from a 31 up to a perfect 36. And now we roll this exact strategy out to students in our coaching program, where we've helped over 250 students reach scores above a 30 in just the past couple years. So this works not just for me, but it works for everybody. I call this process the ACT hacking system. So step one is you identify your highest priority types of questions to work on the ACT. Step two is we hack each question type individually. So we don't just lump everything together and start willy-nilly, haphazardly going after every single type of question. What we do is we attack those high priority question types first. These would be the questions that we're missing the most often and that show up the most on the test. And we work on specific drills for just these types of questions, and we ignore everything else while we prioritize this one most important question type first. And step three is that we ingrain this learning process through continued practice and continued drills until it becomes second nature to us to solve these problems correctly. So that by the time we get to the testing center on test day and we don't have our notes there, we don't have our resources there, we can read the first half of a question. We already kind of know what the second half of the question is going to ask. And more importantly, we know exactly what process we're going to use in order to try and solve this question. Now, the main difference here between doing repetitive practice tests and just getting spoon-fed the solutions from the answers guide and actually going in and hacking a specific question type is that you're able to actually retain the information a lot better when you're just working on one thing at a time. And that's how you can create long-lasting connections in your brain, and that's what true learning actually is. And this process is obviously much better than just repetitively taking practice tests over and over again, because it actually works to get you a better score, and it's way more efficient for the time that you do put in. For our students, we still typically recommend that they work hard and they put in about an hour or so of studying every single day, or about 7 hours over the course of a week on average. But this is nowhere near the amount of time that I was personally studying when I was taking those repetitive practice tests again and again and again. And what we do is we typically recommend this 7 hours a week for just a period of 4 to 6 weeks, and then we just put the test behind us. And typically our students are getting great scores after this 4 to 6 week period, and they never have to think about the ACT ever again. If you contrast that to the students who continually take repetitive practice tests over and over again, they typically drag the process on for months and months because they just never get to their target scores. So if you're studying for the ACT right now, I would follow that simple process. Identify your high priority question types, create drills for yourself to solve those questions, and then ingrain the right habits into your brain by doing those drills until you can't get a question wrong. And Sarah was a student who recently used this exact process to improve her ACT score from a 25 up to a 33. So over the summer, she was using one of those like big old red ACT prep booklets, and she was just repetitively taking as many practice tests as she could, reviewing the answers guide, and then moving on to the next practice test. But the first time she took the ACT using that study strategy, she scored a 25. So even though she was in all honors and AP classes, and she was actually at the top of her class at the time, she ended up with a 25, which just completely frazzled her and her parents, and they just knew that this score did not reflect what her true potential was. Before she took that first ACT, she had aspirations to go to a top 20 school or an Ivy League school, or potentially earn like massive scholarships, and a 25 on the ACT does not allow for any of that stuff. So Sarah and her mom were incredibly frustrated, not only because she had spent a bunch of time working that just didn't pay off, but because they were staring down the situation of her not being able to get to her dream school and potentially having to pay way more for tuition than they should have to. to. Fortunately, she realized that she needed to make a pretty big change, and she didn't get too discouraged from the process. She ended up joining our ACT coaching program back in September, and she worked directly with our head of student success, Martin, and one of our ACT coaches, Neha, who went literally question by question through a diagnostic test for her, finding those specific high priority question types so that we could narrowly focus our attention on what her lowest hanging fruit was and not waste any time studying things that she already knew. Specifically, what Neha and Martin found was that she had extremely low hanging fruit with little picture questions on the reading section, and then over on the English section, she had a couple things with subject verb agreement questions and then independent and dependent clause connection questions. So we spent a lot of time focusing on just these three things, which show up a lot on the ACT. And so that was step one of the ACT hacking system out of the way. Step two, we gave Sarah just some targeted drills to focus on just those specific types of questions. She knocked them out one by one, and then she ingrained that process. She ingrained the right habits over and over again until they were second nature to her. And by the time the October 18th ACT came around, she ended up taking that 25 that she had that was incredibly disappointing and turning that into a 33. And that was with just 5 or 6 weeks of work before that test. And because we were narrowly focused on the English and reading sections, she actually ended up with a 36 in reading and a 33 in English, which means that we still have even a little bit more room for improvement in math because we didn't really focus on that at all. So going into the December test, even though she now has a great score already locked in, she has even more room to improve because right now we're focusing actively on that math section, and we're just being super targeted with, ignoring reading for sure because she already has a 36, and just really working on improving that math score. And she's likely going to end up with even a much better score than the 33 that she already has. And so just using this exact process for about 5 or 6 weeks completely changed the trajectory of Sarah's college application process. Going from a 25, where she had essentially no chance of getting into an Ivy League school, very minimal scholarship opportunities, to just a 33 already. That's not even counting the fact that she's probably going to get better than a 33, but just the 33 where she is right now, she's already opened up the possibility of getting into an Ivy League school, and she's already secured over 6 figures in scholarships that are guaranteed to her at different schools. And on top of all this, she now doesn't have to worry about her ACT prep that much anymore. We're going to go with a very casual approach into the December test, give her a lot more of her time back, and she can spend a lot of that time working on other activities. And then after December, she'll have ACT prep completely off of her plate, and she can continue working on all those other aspects of her college application. And because she's still only a junior, she's gonna have this test knocked out and over with by December. She's gonna have an entire 6, 8, 10 months to work on other aspects of her college application, and she's going to be way, way ahead of her peers who may be, still studying for the ACT during the spring or the summer, where Sarah's going to be able to, polish up her college application, continue adding more and more things to her resume, and she'll be able to outcompete the other applicants because of that. And if you want my team and I to actually take a look at your situation and help you do all of this stuff individually, then, there should be some sort of information on how you can book a call with us and get in contact to see if our coaching program is the right fit for you. Check the link in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll also probably like the video I made on how to improve your ACT score the quickest way possible. That should be right here on the screen, so go ahead and tap that and enjoy that video as well.